Hope your day's going good. Today I'm with Matt Clem and we're going to introduce or demonstrate the stimpmeter. Now, Matt, I got to tell you a true story. I had never really knew much about green speeds at all until I came to Kelly Greens 4 years ago. Playing mostly municipal courses, there were never a sign that said anything. So when I came here and I go up to the starter shack and I see this green speed thing, I'm thinking, what the heck is this? I mean, I literally didn't know.
Yeah.
So I did do a little research and I wrote a golfer spotlight story on it last year, but it wasn't a video and it wasn't with you.
Yeah.
So I've asked for a demonstration of the stimpmeter.
Okay. Well, this is the stimpmeter. It's sounds like it might be something complicated, but really it's just a piece of metal with a groove in the middle, and then it's got a indentation here for your ball to sit in. And what we'll do is we'll put that near the ground, and when you lift it up, the ball rolls out. And so whatever force it takes for that ball to fall out is as much force as it'll have to roll out. And that way you get a consistent distance for every measurement, and that's why they came up with the stimpmeter, for consistency.
So how does a stimpmeter work? It's really a very simple idea. A metal track would hold the golf ball, and the golf ball would rest in a notch in the track until the device reached an angle of 20 degrees. Once 20 degrees was reached, the golf ball would come out of the small notch and roll down the track. The distance the ball rolls on the green once it's left the track is the stimp reading. The track is a total of 36 inches long, and the notch for the golf ball is exactly 30 inches from the lower end of the track. The angle of the track and the distance from the notch where the ball rests prior to release create a known velocity, and the resulting distance the ball rolls is a precise measurement. Public courses range from 8.5 to 10.5 depending upon several factors. Most PGA Tour greens stimp out at around 11, and major championship courses run between 11.5 and 13. Oh my, imagine that! Although the device was invented in 1938, the USGA adopted the stimpmeter in 1976 when it was first used for the US Open. The device gets its name from its inventor, a gentleman named Edward Stimpson. Stimpson was a ranked amateur golfer from Massachusetts.
So what we do is you take 3 balls, you set up your tape measure and your starting point from where you're going to start from, and then you simply lay the ball in the groove and lift it until the ball rolls out. And you do 3 balls, that way you get an average. So what we'll do is we'll take the distance that these 3 balls rolled, and then we'll average them. So if we follow the tape measure all the way out, 2 of them rolled 11.5, and 1 of them rolled 10.5. Now, sometimes you'll get discrepancies like that. I would call that around 11.1. You'll get discrepancies like that. Sometimes it depends on the type of ball you use. And the one that rolled shortest was this no-name brand, this Exio. But the Titleist and the Maxfly both rolled at 11.5. Now we'll take and we'll roll the other direction, because you want to make sure that you get both directions, because you could be going uphill or downhill. Alright, so we'll walk this one out. Had a little bumpage going there. So this one rolled out to 11.6 again. This one was interrupted before it got a chance. And then this one went to about 10.8. 10-10.
Now, is there a difference in the grain of the grass when you're going two ways like that?
There is generally with Bermuda grass, yes, there is going to be grain.
So that's really quite a specialized device. You don't just make that in the shop.
No, sir. You
Because
don't
it's
make
got to
that
be
yourself.
it's got to be exact.
Right, they do. They actually sell another one, the USGA sells it, and on one side it's got just like this one, but on the other side it's got a notch in the middle, and you use that side for if you can't find a nice flat spot. Say you've got a shorter flat spot that you can do your test on.
Okay, all right.
You can do it by half and double it.
Okay.
So if I was getting 6 going one way and 5 going the other way, I'd have about an 11, because you would double the 6 to 12, and you would double the 5 to 10. Add those, average those out, you would come up with an 11.
It's really a simple kit.
It's not. There's not much to it, but you know, you can make things more complicated than they are, but it doesn't need to be.
How often do you do it here?
We do this every morning.
Okay, what time? I mean, early morning?
5:30 in the morning, right after the mow and roll, or if we're not rolling, right after the mow.
What do you do with the information? I mean, it's more than just to tell us golfers how fast they are?
It is. It gives us the information as to whether or not we need to double mow that day. If the greens have slowed down from one day to the next, we'll double mow, or we'll roll brush before we mow to try and get more clippings, more of the surface area of the leaf off of the green. But yeah, it gives us that kind of information to decide what practices we're going to put on the green, not just for the golfers.
What's your target usually?
I like 11.
Yep.
Is very puttable for everybody. You start getting around 10 and you'll start hearing, you know, some complaints that they're slow, and you get to 12 and you get complaints that they're too fast.
Yeah.
So 11, somewhere around in the 11 range is really a happy medium for all golfers of all walks.
All right.
So
Great.
yep.
Thank you, Matt Clem.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, appreciate it.